Hello. Probably should have made more announcements because I don't tag anything, never hashtag anything. Hey, Frank, what's up? I know I'm late, per usual. But I'm here. I'm here now. So go share. I'd really appreciate it. I should do that rescue. Hello, Lake. Hello. Hi.
That has to be charged for work tomorrow, and you have to take my charger.
No.
The one that's out here does not work because you took my box. It has my initials on it.
That would be the little one. The little short little girl that lives here.
That's my name.
I didn't take it. She did.
It better be fully charged by morning.
Oh, sorry. We're having a charger crisis. But I didn't do it. She takes the charger. That's for his work iPad that he hates. And it's for my phone. And it's in one spot. And our daughter keeps taking it. Audio boom. Am I loud? Am I quiet? Can you hear me this time? Is the camera working? Have I frozen yet? Oh, do you, Illinois paper? Hey, Crimezilla. Let me see if I heard back from. She can't. Okay, so gosh, my first 6 years today. That doesn't seem like a very long sentence. What was that for? Hey, Boston Christian, good to see you. So, on Friday, August 23rd of 2024, I attended my first hearing on the trial, the state of Indiana versus Richard Allen, the alleged murderer of Abigail Williams and Liberty German on February 13th of 2017 in Delphi, Indiana on Monon High Bridge Trail. It has been a long and winding journey since the 13th, and I've decided to go myself. I can. My work schedule is flexible. I just have never wanted to, I don't know. I go to others. For one, I am dyslexic and I can't take notes because they don't make any sense. You can't read them later. I feel like they are words when I'm writing them. And then when I go back later, might as well be Aztec for the amount of understanding that I can get out of it. So it's like, for me, court reporting is note-taking is pretty critical. But obviously, if I try to take notes, I can't read them. But also because you're using that part of your brain, I don't remember anything that's gone on. So if I can attend and have someone take notes for me, then my memory's pretty good. I can take everything in. So I don't know if she wants me to name her, but she sent me her notes on some hearings, the last set of hearings, and she is perfect. Like, she does a really good job. So I think that if we can we've talked about it. So if I can get her notes and my memory and we mix the two together, we can cover this or I can cover this with her help as from a court reporting standpoint of, these things you're going to have. It's a natural thing in all aspects of life. We have biases. That's just the way it is. However, too much is given, much is expected. And when you're given the opportunity to attend a murder trial, your opinions and bias are moot. And it's become kind of frustrating for some of us that, obviously they're not going to be aired. We're not going to have what we have with other trials. So I'm going to try to attend the most of the trial. It's not that far of a drive, but it's expensive, and I'm not going to be able to go to all of it because I do have to work, and I can't really miss out on thousands of dollars, like a bunch of thousands of dollars a week at work to go to a month-long trial. That's just not practical. But because I do have I can make my own schedule, I'm going to attend the days that I feel are going to be the most impactful for the most information. Trials follow they're pretty organized. They're pretty chronological. What's kind of happening the first, second, third, fourth, days as they go on, based on the state. They present their case first, and then the defense, and the state usually follows a pretty, establishing things. So first day will be witnesses to establish where people were. I would expect that Kathy Allen would be one. The witnesses at the trail, the people at the trail that day, establish those things, and it'll just kind of progress from there. So I really want to attend when Dr. Coors is there, because I don't know if y'all know, but he's pretty, he's kind of the shit as far as Indiana pathologists, like forensic pathologists. There's really not a lot. There's not a lot of them, which is crazy. But I'm so glad that they called him, because it's not one of his normal counties. But I want to attend that day for sure, because I think a lot will be cleared up and set straight, and we shall see. Let's say hi to a few people I see coming in. We've got Al on the Prowl. Hello, sir. Lipsha. Always good to see you. James. I think that's all I see. But so yeah, I'm going to go. And I went to this one, the hearing that never was. Criminality gave me like a really good title of a name, and I think that was it, but I forgot. So it's just like the non-hearing of Much Ado About Nothing. Like nothing happened. Rosie summed it up with that very word. Quote, nothing happened. But of course, there's just there was a lot of stuff that went on. The walking, Carroll County Courthouse is gorgeous. It is. It is historically fitting, and it is. I mean, because Delphi is literally, that area is for settlers. So it's a beautiful courthouse, and it has a rotunda. I have learned that name now. And there are actually, whoa, what is this lipstick on my face? My gosh, it's a bit much. I can't. I don't think I can look at myself. My daughter got me these, like a whole kit of lipsticks for Christmas, and I keep them in here, but I just put that sucker on and it just looks really, woo, like a lot. Hey, Matt. Okay, so I pulled up a little article or where you can take it, you can see it. If for those of you that haven't been, oh, please still be open. All right, let me pull it up. Did I not? Oh, first one. Oh my gosh, I need help. Okay. Hey, Truth and Justice. Well, other people like navigate all of this with such like they're just so good at it, and I'm just not. All right, I'm just going to share this whole thing here. So ridiculous. All right, can everybody see this? Oh my gosh, I still have somehow this old picture back here from my last life. I'm sorry. Oh, great. Now what have I done? No. Well, nope. I need a manager. Where is it for like changing your background thing? I've got my old, whoa, what the heck happened there? Geez, oh, Pete. I don't know what I've done. I don't even know how I figured out how to put that back there, to be honest. Oh, I think I found it. All right, we'll just go with that. Okay, so you can see, can you? Oh my gosh, I'm so sick of myself right now. I'm sorry. This is just what happens when I try to do things on a whim. Oh my gosh, what? Are you serious? Are you sure, Tree Monster? I feel like it's a bit much. Hey, Lisa. Yeah, he is okay. To set the record straight on a few things. I did not have the police or RCMP or anybody of that border patrol, nothing. I did not call them and have them go to his, not his house, because we all know he's just moving from couches. So I did not do that. I did not, didn't happen, you know. He's raising money for the uh disgusting docu-series that's going to be about him. And he's keeps asking for more money because then when he gets the money, the 2,500, then he can air it. I don't think that's how that works, but okay. I thought he already sold it for one, but I showed y'all, at this point, there's just, he lies so much and it's so outlandishly like horrific. And if you believe him, then there's just nothing that me continuing to expose him is going to do to help you. But I hope that I do help somebody, and I hope that they're safe because they thought better of working with him, dating him, involving themselves with him in any way, or giving him money. And there's just not really much else that can be, said or done. It's just a perpetuation of absolute. One day, I hope that the people that remember me and call me all those names that I don't care about and they've never stopped me, I hope one day that they, because sorry, I mean, it's going to end badly, and one day everyone's going to see that I was right. And not that that's something to brag about, but I feel like in true crime, in a world full of after the fact, when nothing can be done, when you can advocate before murder and preventative, like true crime coverage, yeah, I'm all about that. And if one person gets away from him safely or doesn't date him, then that's one person that I feel that I've helped and they're alive, and let's all be real. We're in a true crime. We talk about criminals. We talk about people that break the law. We talk about people that habitually offend, and that's just what we do. And he is a true crime case, just point blank, period. But, it's nothing new. He's been doing what he does, going on, his whole life. Is just, if you have faith in him, put it in something else, put it in anything, literally. Like, you could have more faith in aliens coming next year, literally, than you can in that man ever getting it together. Like, just it's not going to happen. And his little cohort is just as bad. It's like pulsar stars colliding. So get that out of the way. But let's see if I can share this. Oh my gosh, Lake. Thank you. Do you know if RA sought mental health treatment in 2019? And if so, was it before or after that 2019 presser? I do not know. I do not know. I wonder what Dr. Fiddler, am I saying that right? I feel like I mess up all their names. That was in one of the recent filings. Like, I do wonder if that could be related to that, or I don't know. It would be something that I'm sure we're gonna find out, but I don't know. And I saw one more. Heather, hey, How are ya, Junior Johnson? I was on Criminality on Friday night. Told her about what happened at the hearing. It was so great. She's so great. I have a great time, just when things you have a chemistry with some people, and things just flow naturally. And I also jumped on Blue Eyed Trucker last night. And I talked to Phoenix mostly because Blue Eyed Trucker was trucking. But I am going to go on there tomorrow night as well. And we're going to talk about a long time ago. I did a lot of research. I was actually on Get Vocal on voodoo, and obviously, I've done a lot of stuff like that. So dark arts with Adrian is also one that researches and studies different cultures and religions and what all you call those. So we're going to talk about some of that stuff, talk about some of the early on with the Soldiers of Odin, Sons of Odin. While I don't think it is related to the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German, I do think that they are some dangerous men. And those types of things in our society are damaging. I don't think that they're out sacrificing human children. But I do think that they are pretty wicked and pretty dangerous and things like that. Attention needs to be called to that. So I'm looking forward to talking to her about that kind of stuff. I saw another. Yeah. Yeah, James. I'm telling you. Hey, Mother of Dragons. Pulse All Stars Meet. Hey, Tammy. How are ya? There it is. Thank you. Thank you, Tree Monster. It was very kind of you. Hey, Johnny. I hope you're well, sir. You sure make my day. Really? Good for her. Yeah, she was there. The family was there. He had some. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so the first story was that he was just a few days after the murders. Then when it came out that it was in 2019, people went into to correlate it with the presser. Yeah, I don't know. Must have missed that. Yeah, I agree with that, Matt. Yeah, same. Hey, Ivy. Right back at you, sir. I was thinking about I'm gonna make you a thumbnail with all of us ladies that are married that you make happy in your live streams. And then I'm going to put them all together. Johnny's ladies and Debbie, the single lady of the group. But I know ATS News and myself, Vid Inquiries, we all appreciate you. You make us, you make people's days better. And that is pretty special, dude. believe it was at the hearings that it was said that he has battled depression since his 20s, including an inpatient stay in 2019 for major depressive disorder. Yeah. You know, having attended, you know, there are things that obviously like affect the competency to stand trial. And then there are aggravating and mitigating circumstances that a judge would consider when sentencing, if upon a verdict from the jury of guilty. Usually juries can, you know, they can recommend what they want, but ultimately the judge is the one that decides the sentencing, and they usually stick within the guidelines of the state that they preside in. But mental health issues, you know, there's ego dystonic and there's ego syntonic. Let's go a little Freud. There are disorders that are like OCD is ego dystonic. You're completely aware, because as I have this, you're completely aware that you are the disordered one. Egosyntonic is when, like schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorders, disorders like that, which would obviously be a competency thing. However, depression, you know, that might be a mitigating at a sentencing, but as far as like anything much else than that, you know, a lot of us have major. I've always had the struggle because it's like I watch a lot of parole hearings and stuff, and it's like the boards want to blame it on drugs and alcohol, and like, no, the majority of people that have mental illness or drug addiction problems throughout their life, they're not murderers, you know, they're not out killing people. They're just not. So it's always one of those things that's a touchy subject for me. I don't like to see, you know, we all want to understand, and I understand that, but yeah, it was. Thank you, Truth and Justice. You're going to fall asleep. That's okay. I'm not going to be on long because, well, oh, I didn't know it was only 8:15, maybe. Okay. Let's look at this court. Let's look at this courthouse. I guess I'm just going to have to share my whole screen. So I thought I had figured out how all the other tubers were able to do it and not have all of this jazz show up, but clearly not today. All right. It looks like everybody can see it. Score. This is just a little tour of the courthouse here, so you have a perspective of what I'm talking about if you haven't been there. This is actually the door that they had open. It's the handicap side where we entered. A group of us were kind of standing right about here, around in here, when what I talk about later will come up. It's kind of weird, different. Okay. All right. So this is a picture of the rotunda, which is gorgeous. You can see that it is just all open and it's just a circle. So there's a picture of a little bit of the stairs that we got caught on. This is looking down from, I believe, the third floor, which is where the courtroom is. This is so cool, so pretty. That picture doesn't do it justice, but this one is. So this is the courtroom that they were in. To the side here is where you enter into the rotunda. So right about in here is where well, you can't see where I was standing most of the time because I was, over here talking to Dave Banger. So it was great to catch up with him. He is he's a reporter, he's a journalist. I met him back in 2019 through the Nicole Bowen case. So I was kind of standing over to the side here talking to him. The family were all kind of congregated on this side. This might be easier to, this is the second floor, but it's set up the same way. So the courtroom door would be here. The family was all congregated right around here. I was standing over here. Carrie was here, and Mrs. Allen and Kathy Allen were sitting right here. And Carrie was here. She was next to me. I spoke to her, got to meet her, and her, I don't want to say what there some family was with her, and she did get to go in and hear what the family learned after the non-hearing. So the most of the YouTubers and podcasters were kind of standing over here. This is the staircase. So back to this one. You could kind of see where was it? The person I was with, where is it? Jeez. So right here is the elevator that they bring the accused in through a private entrance, and they use the elevator, right? Or they use this door to get to the elevator. I don't know. So the friend I was with, I'm just following the leader because I haven't been in here before, and so she sees her friend who is a local law enforcement, and she was walking towards him, right? And not realizing that we're about to I don't know. I don't there he was flanked. I don't know if you've ever saw, and this is for his protection, okay? Anthony Greeno has threatened to kill him at the courthouse. Other people have. It is super important to keep him safe. So him having law enforcement around him, the transport team, is pretty critical. And I was just really thankful that they didn't pick me up by my armpits and move me back, because I kind of froze. But really, they were like, no, you can't come this way. So we had to take those stairs. And this is what I was telling Criminality. So these stairs are pretty wide. And I don't think there's a really good, you could see, they're pretty wide, and they kind of spiral. They're beautiful, the marble, and they kind of go up from there. So when we got on the I totally froze, girl. I did. I froze. I didn't, I'm just and I was like, oh my gosh. Afterwards, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so glad they didn't pick me up my armpits and just move me back out of the way, because, I just wasn't expecting all that. That happened. And then as the elevator if anyone's been, all of those of us that have been to the Newton County Courthouse so many times, I know that the elevator there is, it is the slowest elevator ever. But I think it might just be, maybe it's a courthouse thing. The elevator's got to go slow for some reason that I wouldn't understand. So the elevator at the Carroll County Courthouse must be pretty slow, because it was Frank, myself, and I don't know if my friend wants me to mention her or not. So let me know if I can. You're here. Let me know if I can, because I don't want to, out you that you're my friend if you don't want me to. So Frank and I and my friend, for now, maybe she'll let me know, but we were walking towards them, not knowing that this is about to happen. And so then we were like, okay, well, they're like, you have to take the steps. The elevators are closed to the public right now. So we take these three, the marble spiral steps up, and as we're and Truth and Justice, I was with her. Okay. So we take the marble steps up, and as we get to the third floor, which is where the courtroom is, Richard Allen and the transport team was they were crossing the staircase. They were we were coming up. We had to stop on the stairs and wait. And he stared at I know he stared. He looked at Frank, and then he looked at me, and I'm pretty sure Ange said he looked at her. He's a starer. I don't know how else to explain it. I didn't get a glaring feel to it. This is just personal. This is just me, but I've heard other people say like he like glares at me and you just feel this like whatever feelings. I didn't get that. I think a lot of it might have to do with his like eyes. Like they're just like really tiny and they're really like kind of beady. But I was telling Criminality, I have a relative that's kind of a galate, like a he's not like a gazer, he just stares at you, but doesn't say anything. And he just like eye contact, but it's like, are you gonna say anything? Like, what is happening here? And it's a completely unconscious thing that he does, like the relative of mine, and it can make people uncomfortable. Like, what's the deal? What's he gonna like? Why does he do that? So I have that purview of thing, and I've also, we weren't enough to sit across. Like I've sat across, like the Anthony Tobias stuff, and I have met people, and I've, met a few murderers in my non-paying job here on YouTube. And I've looked into their eyes, and I was not close enough to him to like have that. But I do know what people are talking about, where there's just a nothingness there. But I didn't get that feeling from him. It just really felt like he was kind of like socially awkwardly like looking at people. Like, I don't know. But yeah, deer in headlights a little bit. I perceive it as looking through you. It's like he zones out a little when he gazes. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Hey, chemo. Sabi. I'm calling you cancer treatment. You and Susan Hendricks say he stared. I wonder why. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think we're the only two. Like I thought, oh, I hear everybody talking about him. I was like, oh, like surely not. But yeah, he definitely does have a, he was looking at us. He looked me right in my eyes. Like, I do know that. I do know what it feels like to make eye contact with somebody. But I didn't get any kind of feeling from it. I'm just glad that I did get picked up by the big boys. They're big boys, the transport team and the local sheriffs. So then it was wait around. They obviously take the accused in first. They get that all settled and him safe and situated. And then we saw McLeland and like Holman. Doug Carter was there. A few people, they all walk in just the same steps that we came in on, and go into the courtroom the same way. Hey, Chris, glad you're here. And everybody goes in. No family was allowed in the court room. His family or the family of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. And it probably lasted like 30 minutes tops, I'd say. And then Sheriff Liggett. Now here's one thing that has been like, clear this up. No one was like intentionally being loud. It's a rotunda. So the acoustics make everything worse. But everybody was kind of talking in little groups all around this big old circle where you just like see everybody, like there wasn't anybody that you could not see that was there, that was in that rotunda. It's just the nature of a circle, and I did feel kind of like, I feel bad, but that they have to just, Kathy Allen and Janice Allen, I think that's her name. They just have to be there with the public and the media and the families of the victim that their son and husband is accused. And more importantly, the family of Abigail Williams and Liberty German have to be there in the same area with them and the media and everything I just mentioned. And but it's not out of the scope of norm. Poor Cheryl had to, and Miss Dottie, same thing, Ashley Garth was just walking in the same steps we were, trying to take over the whole area. And it's a very odd feeling to be on display, like everybody's looking at you. But I'll tell you what, if my child was murdered, I'd be right there. And if my child was the accused, I would be right there. I am pretty fed up with people insinuating that Kathy Allen and the mom are somehow, they got to be involved because they support him. Just go study murderers' wives. I have a whole paper that I've done on that. And if good on you, if like that's how you would handle it, if someone that you love, you find out one day on a surprise that they've like killed someone, good on you if you just turn your back on them. Like, do you? But for me, like, no, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there to support. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be right where they are. I love my girls unconditionally. So I'm going to be right where his mom is. I would be right where if that was my husband, I would be right there. And everyone, the denial, like, oh, well, she just, imagine, like, I'm sorry, like if they came and arrested him, that would be so outside of like my scope of understanding and like being able to put together for the 16, 17 years we've been together. That would just be like, no, you got it wrong. And even with Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, his wife, she did not believe. She thought he was wrongfully accused, arrested, and everything. She did not believe that he did the heinous things. He is one of the highest count serial killers that there is of kills. And it took him confessing and pleading guilty and confessing to all them before she actually believed that he did those things, because for her, he was Mr. Charming. He was traditional husband. She stayed at home. She cooked and cleaned. He came home. He brought flowers. He took her on dates. They went on bike rides. He was everything that she had ever dreamed of having, and I also think it's really hard on the families to have to be out there. And you get already with like tons of rumors about already just spreading shit of, oh, the families were, this or that. I mean, any little thing they freaking do it's like they cannot do anything right. And I know they've probably just resigned themselves to that. And I hope that they don't give a fork. Honestly, I hope they don't give a fork to all of the ridiculousness that is thrown their way for no good reason whatsoever. And there was a girl, True Crime Grit. I have found that out since, and I got to meet her. And I had the sunglasses. So I did not know who she was. I didn't know she had I didn't have a prior anything of her, but she was wearing sunglasses. That was why I was like, oh, I just thought, I wish those would have, like, I was thinking like she wanted to be incognito. I didn't know that Ray-Bans had cameras in them. You know, I didn't know about that. But she told us when we were leaving, because we'll go back to the sunglasses. So I did see her there. She had them on her head. You know, they were about this big, but sunglasses. So they're about the same as mine. I mean, you see them. But they were sunglasses, and she even showed us a little camera on them, but her phone was in her car and they were not connected to anything. And so, but obviously when you're wearing sunglasses inside, that's going to draw the attention of the bailiff, the officers, you know, there. And I believe it was Yoder, and I found Yoder to be quite pleasant. He was very nice to us. And I don't think he's doing his job, you know, like when you're wearing sunglasses inside and with everything that's, you know, especially with this case, the volatility between, you know, rightfully or wrongfully. Oh, I got to find some chapstick, but not this bright freaking pink, whatever I just put on my lips. Sorry. So yeah, true crime grit. So, and the thing is that, and she, as we're leaving, that's when we found out about like what happened, that Yoder had been like, hey, I'm going to have to he inspected her. He didn't take them from her. He inspected them. She says that he saw that they were not functioning. They weren't like they weren't into anything, because I think that if she let him, so I would think that if he looked at them, then he would know whether they were the ability for them to connect to anything. So, and there's been nothing, you know, there's been no but it's his job to do that. Like if I had tried to wear sunglasses to Marion County, White County, any of the trials and things I've been to, that is just like, come on, like that would be. But in her defense, I do have to say, I took a live round, you know, a cartridge into Riley Children's Hospital on accident and didn't even know that it was me. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, ma'am, do you have a live round in your purse? And I was like, oh. And then my daughter is just like dying of embarrassment. And I'm like, because, you know, Riley, if you've ever been there, it's just a revolving door of horrible sadness. And they have this big parking lot. So we park. And I've got to empty my purse of my knives and my weapon and my magazine. And I have a really bad habit of I carry on my person. And however, when I get to work with what I do and the up and downness of it, I have a place that I put my Glock. So, and my gun is a 5+1. So 5 in your, you know, and then I have one in my chambered when I'm wearing it, but I don't have one chambered when I'm not wearing it. So I end up with a bunch of like random bullets because my hands are just, I can't get that last bullet back in there. So yeah, I'd forgotten, you know, and that was just like, I didn't mean to take a live round into Riley Children's Hospital, and I didn't even realize it was me. They didn't find my key knife, but they found so he's like, ma'am, you can either give that to me or you can take it back to your car. So he got my bullet that day. So I can kind of get it just from, so I can relate. Like I could see where just like, if those are your glasses that you wear all the time, like, I think people should just kind of lay off. Like there was a lot of like unnecessary, like drama that's been spreading about, and she cleared it up literally that night. And she admitted, she's like, I messed up. And if she doesn't allow me back in, then I have to own that. And she owned it. Like she has a video up about it. And that to me, like the intent, that's right, James. Because the intent was still obvious. She could have been arrested for contempt of court. I don't think I don't know. Watch her video. Yeah, lunch was good. Freak them out. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I hope that it doesn't ruin the ability this whole ruining the ability of the public to attend. That's a constitutional, state, federal, local. It's not going to happen. She may get something, but no, nothing got seized. Her name is going to be given to Judge Gull if he did. I'm assuming he has to. That's his job. But like, if he explains things, I don't think anything is going to come of it. It's just a big nothing burger that people were like, oh, this is why the hearing was canceled. No, no. This hearing was not canceled because people were loud. This hearing was not canceled because True Crime Grips Ray-Bans. I don't know why the hearing was, the open portion of the hearing was canceled. There was literally nothing. I told Frank, I was like, I don't even have a speculation as to why it didn't happen, but it's not uncommon. Been to so many court hearings, and they'll get literally canceled while you're there. You'll find out, like it's not uncommon for things to be. It's just not like, but yeah, I think that it's I just don't think it's going to end up being a big thing. Being denied access over his BS. Yeah, that is not how anything works. Yeah, that is not how any of this works. It's just not gonna. Both family and RA's family were spoken to and were crying about something. This is something significant. I don't know. I don't want to say too much, but I didn't get that there was a heavy heartedness from the families. And when Criminality and I were talking about it, I mean, someone else, I did not hear it. So for me, it's complete hearsay. It's a rumor about hearing her say, I just want him to come home. Obviously that doesn't mean like, there's no way he was coming home today. So my only thing I could think is that the trial, that was like literally the only speculation that I could come up with was like that it's going to be delayed or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't, she was, I'm going to screw it up. Au no, that's the French dip sauce. Shoot. OJ was when I, so listen, the Liggett comes out. It's like, sorry guys. The guy had come out and told us all to be quiet, rightfully so. Everyone was getting loud, and then it would quiet down after he told us, and then it would get loud again. And then he came out and he told us again. Dave and I were standing there, and Dave and I were talking about like, well, because we had cell phones, everybody had cell phones. He was like, well, the decorum last time I was here said that you just had to have it off. But he's like, I don't really know. But then it ended up, we had to sit our phones out on these benches outside in the rotunda. And so I'm like, well, all I know is what the decorum says. I've seen that in many other courtrooms. I've never had to like not even bring my phone into the building except for hearing about it with Allen County, and Carroll doesn't have that in there. Like, it's not in their local like local county like rules of court. So he had asked, so Dave, as the bailiff guy that told us all to be quiet was coming by, he was like, hey man, do you know like with the cell phone thing? He's like, yeah, that's like he's like, I don't know. I know there was some confusion before. And so Dave was like, well, I just think, like that's fine, but it's kind of like sitting our phones just out here. And so the guy was like, well, would you like me to get you like a container that if it does happen that you have to put your phones in it, then. And so he immediately turned around and he went and got a container as he's passing us by. We both thanked him, and then he walked over the circle and he put it down by the door so that people could put their phones in there, because we're anticipating going into the public portion of the hearing. So the dude was just doing his job. We were loud, and he told us to shush. And it's just, that crescendo of when, you forget that you're supposed to be whispering, and people are just talking. It was a nothing burger yet again. And then the Liggett comes out. I was directly looking. I could see his whole face, his whole body. He came out the door and he was like, it's canceled. I don't have anything more to say. Like, that's it. Like, he wasn't angry. He was a nothing burger. I don't care for him, but the truth is the truth. He wasn't like being gruffy or angry or anything. He was just simply being like, no, nothing happening today. And the defense, but here's the thing. The public, we're not owed, even the media, we're not owed an explanation as to why the public portion of that hearing, the status hearing, was canceled. But the families are. And that's exactly what they did. There was no big conspiracy of it just being about the patties. Carrie went in there as well. I don't know. I don't think Anna, I did not see Anna. And I don't know that I would recognize her family, like to even have a say about that. But the family was all standing on one side, and McClellan and there some other ones, they came out and, there's nothing today. And they took them into a room and explained to them, which they owe them that. Like, they owe them that. And also at the same time, Rosie, I did not see Baldwin there. And oh my gosh, why is this so hard? How can I like get my brain to not, because I've just been calling her auger. I've been calling her like a digging machine for this whole time. OJ, there, I got it right. Right. I'm just going to call her Mrs. A. I can't. So they owe it to their clients. Why they're who they're representing. They owe it to her to explain it to her and her mom and his mom. And they did. So it's, the state can't do that. The defense can, and they did. And as we were all outside at this point, True Crime Grit had come outside, and I do have to say it was a bit embarrassing because I am, I'm just like, I'm not. But she was upset about the situation with the sunglasses and at the potential thought of like what could happen, of like her not being able to come back. And, and she was telling us very loudly about it. And it was just a little, I think I might have accidentally, like outside of my head, like shushed her, because it was just like, ooh, like, ooh, people are staring at us. Like, no. But then again, I could see, but again, she owned it. And she even said, you can go watch it. I will put it in here. We will watch it together. I clipped it. I don't find my clips. Hold on. I never know how to find them until where are they at? Okay. Y'all see it? Hopefully you can hear it.
So I apologize for taking them in the courthouse. They weren't.
Can you hear? Were you able to hear that? Yep. Sweet.
Weren't in working order. If I get banned, that's my fault. That's my bad. But all that other fucking bullshit that everybody else has to say and everybody else has to spin this in the courthouse. They weren't in working order. So I apologize for taking them in that courthouse. So I apologize for taking them in the courthouse. They weren't in working order. If I get banned, that's my fault. That's my bad. But all that other fucking bullshit that everybody else has to say and everybody else has to spin this. Okay? It's that courthouse. So I apologize for taking them in the courthouse. They weren't in working order. If I get banned, that's my fault. That's my bad. But
okay, sorry. I didn't know it was just going to keep repeating. But yeah, like just it's not going to happen, or they're not going to close all the hearings. That's not a thing. And yeah, there's that. Hey, PGH. Yeah. Whew. I wish I was closer. I wish you were too. I wish you could fly here and we could get an Airbnb and stay there and go. So they canceled the upcoming hearings. Yeah, they really are. I know boring is just not popular. Hey, Italian in Laguna Beach. But yeah, so we were standing out there talking to her, and she told us that, and like it is what it is. I think because apparently I clipped it, but like in that live, like someone told her Greeno was, doing all kinds of stuff, and she told him right the fork off, and it was awesome. It's in that same video. You can go to my clips because clips are public. You can go to my clips and I clipped it. But yeah, it was hilarious. She was just like, I don't know. She must know something about, I thought she said, once you tell me the truth about those flyers. I was like, is she talking about the KKK flyers? Y'all remember that? I wondered if that's what she was talking about, but, you know, all right. Where was I at? So, Mrs. Allen and Kathy Allen and, oh my gosh, defense attorney A was, they had, we're all coming out the same door. And so they were behind us. And I think it was Frank and I and Ange, we kind of moved out of the way to give them a berth, like, because she did seem upset. Like, oh my God, OJ, hopefully that's right. I cannot, I don't know why that's so hard for me. She had her hand, like she was kind of patting, Kathy, his wife's, back. And then they went over to a gazebo and they talked over there. And then Rosie came out and he talked with them. And there was someone else that was standing over there. I'm assuming one of their like investigators or, assistants or something. And they talked to her for quite a while. The end. Like nothing. It was a nothing burger, like literally nothing hearing. Nothing happened. The hearing didn't happen. Nobody knows why. And we're not owed that. Like I just get so sick of all of the stuff that people think that they are owed. Like you're not. You're just not. You're not that special. You're not that important. This isn't your life that is taken. This isn't your family's life that has been taken. And this isn't your life on trial for taking life. Like it's just simply not. And people just need to calm down a little bit everywhere. And this whole, God, I saw I am trying to turn over a new leaf and be nice and be Mel and like, but I just like some things I see and I'm just like, what in the hell is this? Like, what in the actual love of the sand and the water and the seas is this ridiculous nonsense of I just can't. I don't like Murder Sheet. I didn't talk to them when I was there. I was polite. I avoided the people that I don't like. But when you're in that setting, you can be an adult and like be professional. But like, so I'm not a fan of the Murder Sheet. I'm just not. But like this video was so ridiculous. Their logo. You're gonna be able to get this out loud. Like I can't. I knew this was gonna happen. Oh, somebody help them. These poor people out there just I don't even know. I don't know. I was like, is this a joke? Like, is this because so they have a logo, just like I have a logo. I'm gonna try to turn it into something just for shits and giggles. But this channel has turned there's hidden meanings and things in their logo, and it's a phallus and testicle. Like if you take their logo of the Burger Chef and you like turn it upside down and invert it and do all these weird things to it, it's actually a phallus and testicles. Yep. Yep. Yeah. I've just never seen anything more ridiculous in my life. Like you can, I mean, I don't like I don't like some of their tactics. I don't care for their voices or just other things. I don't care for them outing a bunch of messages, even though just showed me I've been right all along. I think those chicks from Unraveling are bullies and they're mean girls, and I don't like them, and nobody can make me. And that's just that. There's just like they've done too many things that just are not, they're not acceptable outside of that. But it was pretty shitty of murder shit, because that's what I've called them for, to do that. Like, you don't need to meet someone at their level when they're attacking if their best argument is about your physical appearance, you won. Take the win and don't talk about it. Like, you don't have to address every little, in this internet world, this YouTube world is mean. People are, just as it is. If you can't handle that, then you shouldn't be here. Like, you can't let these people affect your real life. And all sides that are doing that kind and engaging in that kind of behavior are wrong. And I know it does appear that I do the same with Greeno, and I have made fun of him. Speaking of the best night of my channel's life was just the most fun was the Smeal night. But Greeno is a true crime case, and that's how I see that. And no one's going to change my mind on that either. And I'll keep doing it regardless of what anyone says, because I feel like it is preemptive true crime. So, but again, at this point, it's so ridiculous and so outlandish that if you want to support that, like, I can't help you, but one day when I'm right, all the series will still be there. It'll all still be there for people to see. Someone was trying to warn people about the danger that is him. And but this whole I'm not giving people, you find that on your own, but it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And just I don't understand that. Like, how in the world can you take a picture, invert it, turn it upside down, inside out, do all of these things to it to find a phallus and testicles out of the Burger Chef building? Like, I don't know, but somehow that's like, ooh, they're so bad. They're just like so corrupt, and they're just like agents of the state, and then they're trying to like hidden symbols that's like of this phallus and testicle. I can't. I have laughed. I did get a good chuckle. Hey Fiend, good talking to you last night. Do you have a frisbee? Well, tree monster, you're gonna go down. You're in a new cult. You got the Odins, the Freemasons, and the phallus people. Phallus agents of the state. It's so wild out there. Sorry, I'm just having a moment. There were I don't think it was a joke. I don't think it was a joke. Like, I was trying to figure it out because I checked out a few of their other videos, and I kind of think they believe this stuff because it seemed there was a lot of kind of magical thinking going on, for lack of a better word, in some of the other videos as well. So signs everywhere, signs. That's all I have to say. Oh, come on. He brought this meal on himself. He definitely did. Oh, such a fun night. I did, but told them why they ticked me off. I'm sure you did. Yeah, so maybe we'll find out if it didn't seem very jokey when I watched the video. I was like, this is just such an oxymoronic moment earlier today of this is hilarious, but kind of frightening that pretty sure they were serious. So yeah, that happened. Found that today. But what else? Anything else anybody want to talk about? We've got a little bit more time. You should definitely go over and check out Blue Eyed Trucker. I was on there talking to Fiend last night, and I felt like it was a very good conversation. That's the thing. It's like, I don't think I'm not saying Fiend and I necessarily disagree on a lot, but there is a way it's okay to not share the same opinion and like with people and get along just fine and have discourse and professional adult debating. That is a thing. It can be done. I mean, there's some creators that I will not give them any of my time. And but there are some, or even if I don't agree, I think that it's intent. Like, what are people's intent, and what can you gather from the time that you've watched them over a long period of time? Are they consistent? Are they acting in human kindness and care? And it's not hard to really see who is good and who is not. This is after getting to know some people, and sometimes you have to learn the hard way on people. Hey, Grizz. Good to see you here. NB. Hi, love. Wife Lilith. Are you going to the walk in October for Libby and Abby? I'm going to plead the fifth. I don't want to ever be the cause of taking away from the purpose of anything, and I'm fully aware that there are other people that I can only control myself. And there are other people that, because of the nature of what I do with my channel, which is very clear in my bio. I don't know why people think that I'm doing anything other than what I've always set out to do, but whatever. There's some people that they don't know how to be pleasant and polite in professional and to know that it's not okay to be fighting outside of the courthouse, and kangaroo fighting and carrying on and doing all kinds of crazy ass stuff. And Greeno is one of those, so he doesn't care about the families or anyone else. So my fear is that he would make it about himself in turn, because I'm to blame for all of his troubles in life, and then it would take away from the meaning. So we shall see. But we shall see. Okay, thank you. Can it what, Grizz? Not to get all serious about it, but stuff like that is why I think ritual sacrifices, Pearl Mutter, etc., is dangerous to society in general. I could not agree with you more. I know both of us has done a lot of late 80s, early 90s research, and people can get along. Yeah, they can, but they miss Bojangles. Smells being scared because she'll shake a bitch. Yeah. Yeah, I got a dagger in there. A little dagger. Can you show daggers on YouTube? I better not try. But yeah, yeah, we want to try. There's just not a lot of it going around. And if you ever want a break, I have been my parents' friend is on Alone. It is season 11 Arctic, and it's not over yet. I don't know who won, but he is still, there's 3 of them left, and he is one of them. His name is Timber Cleghorn, and he is on YouTube. And if you ever just want to get away from the dark, yeah, go check out Timber. A lot of good things, a lot of philosophical, insightful things, as well as bushcraft and surviving in. And it's so amazing to be like, I would love to go to a place that is untouched by humans. I mean, it's just such incredible landscape, just the beauty and awe of untouched earth that is inhabited by all of these amazing things, like that they don't know. These animals and creatures, like, they don't know what a human is. They don't know what a fishhook is. They don't know what it, like, it's so gorgeous. And he does a lot of good things. I went to hear him speak at my parents' church. First time I've been in a church building for a really long time, and nothing burned down. So that was a plus. But, like, when you get in, like, it's the Pearl Mutter stuff, and the ritualistic, sacrifice is it is obviously it's going to be something with this particular case, but as a whole, it is I'm not going to speak on it. Maybe tomorrow night, me and Adrian we'll get into it. Hey, new folks. Hey, True Crime Grit. Glad you're here. I was talking about you earlier. I hope I clipped you and showed people that some of the stuff is a bit ridiculous about, the sunglasses shutting down court no more, hearings canceled, and public court no more is just not a reasonable thing to think that happened. Oh, okay. Good. I had no idea that you were, I was at my daughter's birthday dinner. And then when we got home, Criminality was still on and I jumped on. So I hadn't watched like any, I didn't know that you were on there. And I didn't know, like I know we met there, but like I didn't have a purview for you. I know there were some things that we didn't see eye to eye on, like Liggett, was like one, but yeah, the glasses was just kind of, but it just goes to show, like, it's like with the murder sheets logo, like people can turn something into anything that they want. And at this point, like, I just feel like people are going to just, like, it's like, there's no in the middle. There's no, like, I don't know. I think people are afraid to not know, like, or to admit that they don't know. But good God, to be on the side of like such a slippery slope of wrongfully convicted and rightfully convicted, and until you know everything, I have a really hard time just cheerleading for someone indicted, regardless of my feelings, before it's all adjudicated. And I think like it's a it's a scary thing. And I wonder, like of what if there is, say you are on that jury and there was clear and convincing evidence, and like, for one, like, how would that make you feel of knowing that you campaigned and raised money and wrote letters, and some of them that act like they're like on like Ricky, like they just like think they know him. I don't know, it's super weird, but like solid this whole thing too of, go watch, it's called Locked was it Locked Up. It is an experiment that a sheriff in Oklahoma did, and it's brilliant, it's beautiful, it's brilliant, and it is exactly what jails and prisons need all over the United States. But there is a pretrial detainee in this, and in one of the episodes he is he's having some mental health crisis, and they put him in what is explained by Baldwin and Rosie in their emergency safekeeping order of what the same thing that this guy on that show was going through. Like, he's put there. They show the cell, and you can watch all kinds of shows where, like, inside prisons, inside all over, you go to look, and there's whole documentaries and everything on it. It's like, this isn't new. This isn't death row solitary confinement. This is, like, it's just not, when you really peel back some of this stuff and get past like your emotional feelings towards some things, a lot of it doesn't have a lot of foundational like ground to stand on, and I do feel like we need reform. We need reform desperately in this country. Prisons are warehouses of revolving doors. And Boone County, I don't know if they still are, but they tried to do something different, and it worked to keep that revolving door from reopening for so many people. And it is a system. It needs to be fixed for the whole entire system, prison system, local, state, federal, all of it. It needs overhauled. But it's not new and it's not specific and it's not just happening to Richard Allen. That's just the truth. Like it, leave it. Don't believe me. Don't want to look into it. Don't want to know. But it's just not it's not an agenda to stand on. But I will say this: if I was on that jury and the state didn't prove to me that Richard Allen killed them, I am not going. I would not. It is against my entire being to have someone's life in my hand and to say guilty if I'm not sure, if it hasn't been proven to me beyond reasonable doubt. Now, you really have to understand reasonable doubt, but like, no. And you know who I'm going to be mad at? The state. They're to blame for that. If that occurs, they're to blame. They have done some things that is undeniable because this has been so public and every little thing has been drug out. It is undeniable that they have done some things that are not okay. They are not cool. I don't like them. They make me feel mad. Guess what? They're not uncommon either. They're not uncommon either, and they're not specific to just this case. And some things need to change within how how things are handled. The Reed technique makes me want to pull my hair out. It is archaic and it's always been wrong. It's always been wrong. So yeah, things like that, like, no. Reading expert, there's been some things in there, but see, the thing is when you really, really get down to the nitty gritty of it, are you going to uncover a constitutional violation? Like, however we feel about it, is it going to be something that a Supreme Court, who's ruled in this case before, would say this was bad faith? It's hard to prove bad faith. It really just is. The custodial interview versus a non-custodial interview, like the inculpatory, exculpatory. I want to know. I want to ask a lawyer, because they're the one. I'm not a lawyer. What is the response? Like, when they say turn over the discovery, right? Like, is that okay? There are like Shannon Polk. It's just the anniversary of that one. You're like a few decades old. That investigation is so vast. Are they supposed to turn over every single little tiny thing? I know that there are, like, I've read the bylaws, the law, the legislature, all of it, all the way up to federal on turning over exculpatory evidence to the defense and vice versa. But as far as like the whole, like the depth of, I don't know. I would like to know. I would like to know if that is like a thing. Am I making sense of like what I'm trying to figure out here? Hey, DB, good to see you. Yeah, I think I'm going to be covering a little bit more. I'm going to try to go to as much of the trial as I can. My clients have already been made aware for the month of October and November. However, I am, I'm not going to cancel and rearrange and because there is the chance that this is not happening in October, so it's crazy how many things there are to protect inmates. But you're right. Safekeeping is the ultimate trump card for these rules and policies. Yeah. And I was surprised that Judge Gold, I mean, I believe Rosie. I'm not saying like I doubt that. I was just surprised that Judge Gold had the authority to remove the safekeeping order, because when I was reading about that, like, once that was done, the commissioner of the like Indiana, like correct, it's a lady, Richard Allen becomes her responsibility. So I didn't know that it could go back to the like the lower court as far as like her removing that order. And I don't know, it's just kind of weird. It's all kind of weird. It's just a weird thing of I don't know. I don't know if he's as safe as he should be where he's at right now. And I don't think what Tobe did wasn't for the risk that Richard Allen posed to anybody. They could handle that. It's like I reminded you all. He literally posted a picture of Amber Green hanging from a tree and was like, if blah, 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 and vigilante justice, he's not the only one that's been saying stuff like that on public forums. Like, you have to look at the other side of the coin. Like, he needs protected from the public. That's just that simple, you know. Wasn't done right. And I mean, Carroll County are they even open? Is the new jail even open? They don't have the manpower, and I don't think Tobe knew how to fill it out. And I think that Diener, he gave him the right he probably gave him the right Indiana code. But if you read that code that was filed under, it is. It's a lot of things don't need to be a big bunch of do. You know, they don't need hearings. They don't need anything. It's just a simple fact of, we can't house this guy. You can't have a murderer walking around with like the possibility of inmates that are local and they want to kill him. You know, so for the simple fact that they segregate the pedos from Gen Pop, like 23 and 1 is the thing in many states, in many states, on whole units of inmates, pre-trial detainees, 23 hours in a cell, 1 hour out. Like, that is not uncommon. And that is not liken of being in a blacked out, no, I don't know. There's just there's some drama on it, and I don't like. It's like, it is what it is. You don't need to like Shakespeare it. You don't, like. I'm not saying that I agree. I don't agree on a broad scope, though. It's like, not just for Richard Allen. Like, all of it needs, and I know Ivy feels the same way I do. We've talked about this several times of like how broken our judicial, our the money making. Like, go read about it. If you haven't have on newspapers.com, you can put Tobe Leazenby's name in, and there is a whole entire like investigative report that was done on Carroll County, and where the state prisons, this is the fault of legislation passed that the state prisons didn't have to house under under felony 6 or 5s. They had to be now put, because the local jails were just for pretrial detainees, or like small, you get out of it, but then now the responsibility is they put the responsibility, and it was a complete backfire. It looked good when they talked about it, but when you read the entire paper of what they did, it really screwed over all of the local towns, cities, and counties, that now they have to house the sentenced inmates. And there's a big article where all of these different sheriff's departments are interviewed, and Boone County is one in there. And that's where I found all that information about how they did stuff different, Yeah. Well, hey, it didn't work. They didn't do it. They didn't do it right. But that's what jails were. And now they're not. So in jails, you have a mixture of people serving their sentence and people that are awaiting, their sentence, but they're just not housed. They don't have the staff. They don't have the grants. They don't have the funding to be anything more than a conveyor belt of humans. It's sad. It's sad. It is, Tammy. It's not just Indiana. It's not unique to us. And when you really get into it, I get on these wild research tangents, and I was studying prisons abroad and other places. Oh my God. Scary. Mexico. I mean, it was a whole big thing. I was like, oh my God, this is literally it was hard to watch. It's hard to watch. How many people not only don't care, but think that's how it should be. Yeah. It's hard. I struggle with that one of my favorite movies of all time, there's three: Man on Fire, Law Abiding Citizen, and they have a theme. But at the same time, I just think of myself in that situation of if I found out that someone defiled my daughter, I'd be like, what's the sentence on that again? What are the mitigating circumstances? Okay. Bye. Because I do know how the judicial system works. So there's always this other internal struggle of conflict. I know that there is a murderer that is free right now, and I hate it. I literally I hate it that he is free, and he is a sick man, and he's just free. And I hate that. So it's just a battle. It's a battle. It's a battle of believing in what a civilized country should be, and believing in a system. It's just hard to sometimes believe in a system that is just so broken, and not that's why people personally involved in cases can't make decisions for them. Yeah. My friend was murdered by her boyfriend in 7/23 of 2018. He was arrested 2 days later, and we are still waiting for trial. Yeah. I think I might have. I think I know I redacted your name because I didn't want to dox you, but your comment, I think it was you that made a comment about that to someone, and it hit my heart, and I used it to it was the basis of a live I did a couple times ago. And I think I even looked up the case that you're referring to. If I have the wrong person, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure I have the right I have the right person though, but your comment really moved me, and I was in a place of like, no, I'm not gonna, I take so much heat. Like I'm not gonna cover that. And I read your comment, and it was like, oh, this is why I do what I do. Because my friend was murdered too by her husband in a brutal way. And, yeah, I know the helplessness of domestic violence and the impending doom of eventuality, Yes. Yep. Yes, I did look that up. And there's not a lot on your friend. That was upsetting. I thought I had found a pretty good article, and then of course, when I pulled it up, I was like, "Oh, you got to pay." And then the other one was like, "What? It was a weird one with not a lot of information in it, so it was kind of hard to find info on that, but I tried to share it with people because it is a really good warning sign. And that's why Grizzly True Crime, and she's got Grizzly Cat on Twitter. I like her. Grizzly Cat helps Grizzly Giselle, and they have been covering Madeline Soto's murder by Stephen Stearns. And Grizzly's approach is, I like her approach. I like that she has some decorum about what to show and what not to show, but that as like every other 30 minutes she's saying, like, what can we learn from this in order to help someone else to not have this happen? And that's the kind of like, that's it. Like, that's what we can do. That's what we can bring. And in this case with this freaking absolute despicable monster that is Stephen Stearns, what can we learn from that so that we can help other people, help other children to not have to suffer through? Because this wasn't just like, this was an ongoing, just what this child had to endure. And like, what is because we always talk about the personality type, the MO, the like personal, like what you can find out, and like a profile of a domestic abuser, a pedophile. Like, we have all of this, and we focus on that. We know what the signs to look for to protect those we love. And there's a lot of awareness out there. There's Laura Richards, God bless her. There's many people that advocate for, what are the signs and what to look for. But what are the personality types? What are the things that set certain men or women on the opposite side of these perpetrators? What are some things that they have a pattern too? And we don't like to talk about that, but like, some of those things, it's like, it's just self-awareness, like if you're aware, like, oh, I need it, like, I think naivete and gullibility and some, not all, I'm not, this profile wouldn't be all encompassing. It's different from case to case, but I see a lot of parents out there, like some of these, was it the Crumleys? Like, just, I experienced it with my own children. I called them drive-by parents. They would drive by, like their kids got dropped off, drive-by drop-offs at my house. You know, it's just like, why did you have kids if they're such a bother? You know, or just like, go away, get on your phone, and then they wonder why, and how they're so unaware of what's going on in their kid's life. Like, there's things, if you're abused, you know, like there's traps there. There's just like a whole, and so I appreciate that there's a way to like use these types of cases to help other people, you know. Like, we get so stuck on punishing perpetrators when we need to focus more on preventing these things from ever happening. Yeah. And there's the constant debate of, you know, what creates monsters. And they don't know. It's not a neurobiological genetic, we've come a long way in understanding the human condition, but we ain't there yet, you know, at all. So it's I think in one aspect the system is so broken because it's about money, and they let these violent, there's some states that are changing laws, like especially on strangulation becoming a felony, as it should have always been. Domestic battery should be a felony. And child, like, I don't know how many parole board hearings, and they will they start them out by listing off like what level of risk are they to the public. And I don't know what the grading scale is, but it's 1 to 10, 1 to 13. I don't know what the highest risk level is, but to hear these freaking monsters that are so violent towards the most vulnerable of people, of humans, which is children, considered a low risk. Really? Why? Why is that not the polar opposite? If you offend against a child, like, you are the highest risk. And they are. Like, it's insane. Who's mod? What am I not seeing? Do I need a mod, or is there someone named Mod in here? I'm so confused. I've seen that a couple times. Oh, probably Mother of Dragons, MOD. It's crazy how people just do their kids out with people they don't even know. No. Hell yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna head out. I do know that Blue Eyed Trucker and Aspen Connor are gonna go live at 10. If you want to head over there and check them out. And I hope you have a good night, and thank you for members, if there are any left. And thank you, Lake, for your super chat. Thank you so much. And Tree Monster, thank you so much. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for being chill in the chat and not being assholes. And I am, yeah, y'all have a good one.